Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode, Getting Wild with Terry and Friends, Trends and Betting Picks. I hit the music button, I'm sitting here listening to the music, and totally forgot to hit the go live button, so got it in right at the end, but that's all good. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. We've got MLB to talk about, we've got a CFL game to talk about, and I'm giving out my CFL premium play as well as my player prop. So giving out all my plays in the CFL game tonight. But we will start the show as we normally do, taking a look back at what happened yesterday on the show. So, the very first game here was the Cubs and the Angels. Ian Happ over 1.5 bases. So winner, Ian Happ home run, loser. Overall, slightly profitable, up 0.35 units, which is good. As I said in yesterday's show, early Friday standalone games tend to be a disaster. So I'm happy that Ian Happ got the 2 bases there. Rafael Devers over 1.5 bases, loser. He did not get anything. Ben Rice over 1.5 bases, loser. He only got 1 base. Matt Chapman over 1.5 bases, loser, plus 148. He got 0 bases. Heliot Ramos over 1.5 bases, plus 145. A nice winner there. Angel Martinez over 1.5 bases, plus 160. A nice winner there. Josh Naylor over 1.5 bases. He got 5. Nice winner there. Sosa, that's what I get. That is what I get for betting a Chicago White Sox player. But lesson learned. Don't worry. That is the first and last time I'm betting a Chicago White Sox player this season. He did get a hit, but no RBI, no total bases. With so many other games on, why would I bet a White Sox player? Then we get to the first premium play of the day. Unfortunately, 0-2 on premium plays of the day. But for the people that just watched the show and just bet the player props, you did very well yesterday. Cincinnati money line, they tried their best to come back. Ended up making it 5-4. They had a guy in third. He tried to get home but was called out. They reviewed it and the call was upheld. So it was so close to getting that game tied by the Reds, but they were unable to. But that does bring us to the thank you segment of the day, which I will bring up here right now. 1 second here. Here we go.
Tigers have produced the fireworks. Spencer Steer, deep, gone. Upper tank. First hit, first run.
Spencer Steer cashed the over 1.5 bases, which was at, bear with me, which was at plus 140, and then the home run, plus 550. Very nice winner there from Spencer Steer. Jonathan India only got 1 base. Had a chance definitely in the 9th, but wasn't able to get there. Austin Riley over 1.5 bases, plus 130. A nice winner there. He hit a home run. Nick Castellanos over 1.5 bases, plus 150. He got 2 different singles. Brandon Lowe over 1.5 bases. A nice ground rule double to cash that. Brandon Lowe home run. Did not get there. Corey Seager over 1.5 bases, plus 120. Nice cash there. I believe he got a double as well. Vinny Pasquantino, RBI, loser. I'm on the wrong side when I take Pasquantino, so I'm not taking him today. So there we go, guys. Brooks Lee, RBI, plus 215, a half unit play there on that one. Was just a very nice winner. Brooks Lee, kind of like Ben Rice for the Yankees, 2 younger prospects that are playing very well for their teams right now. So that was a Nice winner there. Buxton over 1.5 bases. He got 3. A nice winner there. CFL game, as I said, 0-2 in premiums yesterday. Ottawa um, pretty much gifted Winnipeg that win. As I posted on Twitter, it's still hashtag fade Winnipeg. They are not back. They are still an awful team. Um, they just beat another awful team. So it is what it is there. Hardy over 74.5 receiving yards and touchdown. Unfortunately, both lost as well. Overall, a bad CFL game. Moreno over 1.5 bases, loser. Moreno RBI, loser. Christian Walker, home run, and 1.5 bases, both losers. Jackson Merrill over 1.5 bases, plus 120. Winner there. He got 3. Cal Rayleigh, home run, loser. And Teoscar Hernandez, plus 125. He got 3 bases there. Otani, nothing. Overall, a 4th consecutive profitable day. So that was nice. Um, mostly because Teoscar got there right at the end. So thank you, Teoscar, for keeping it going. It looks like it would have still been a profitable day, but just slightly. So can't complain. And hoping to keep things going here on today's slate. We will jump into the chat and see what people are saying here. Good day, Terry. Nice plays yesterday in MLB props. Thank you. Thank you, Tommy. It was great. Especially at the beginning of the night, it was just winner, 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 winner. And I'm like, holy. And then it kind of slowed off at the end, but still profitable. Let's go catching the live show. I hit the like button. Thanks, Justin. Much appreciated. And for people that don't know, Justin posts his plays a lot in the in the comments of the video when the video is done. So feel free to check those out. He's post some nice winners in the comments. That over in Arizona San Diego was a great call. I saw that one too. I wasn't on it, so I don't know who called that, but yeah, it was good. It was a good one. Ramirez over 1.5 bases, minus 113. All right. I did not take Ramirez today, but I do have plays in that game. We will go into today's slate now. I will get rid of this, and we will bring this up. Starting with the very first game here of the day, we've got the Boston Red Sox heading to New York to face the Yankees. It will be Josh Winkowski on the mound for the Red Sox, Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yankees. Garrett Cole having 2 rough starts, then facing Toronto in his last game, and pitching much better there in the win. 1-1 with a 6.23 ERA in the season. Of course, only 3 starts. Winkowski 2-1 with a 2.8 ERA so far. And first off, Rafael Devers, half unit on over 1.5 bases and a half unit on RBI. 12 for 38 against Garrett Cole, 1 double, 7 home runs. So yes, I probably should be on the home run, but went with 1.5 bases and RBI just in case he hits a double or a triple and gets an RBI and doesn't quite get the home run. I'll take the 2+ prices with the bases and RBI. But with 7 home runs against Garrett Cole, it wouldn't be a bad sprinkle to get on the home run as well. Sharon Duran, Tyler O'Neill, I'm passing on both of those guys. Masataka Yoshida, 0 for 5 against Cole. I'll pass on him as well. Judge is kind of cold, I guess, recently. Not going to take him. I mentioned Ben Rice during the recap. He's been doing very well for the Yankees, as you can see. We're going to go half unit on RBI and a half unit on over 1.5 bases. Both nice plus prices in this game. Excuse me while I take a sip of coffee. I try not to, but there we go. So yeah, that's basically what I have to say about this one. I watch the show every day because I mainly bet props in baseball. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Love to see it. Rafael Devers over 1.5 bases. I love it. Yankees team total over 4.5 minus 130. Okay, that's interesting. I do have a premium play in this game over on the site. So you can get that over on picksandparlays.net. One of my two premium plays in MLB, both available for purchase on the site. I'll give out my CFL premium play when we get to it a little bit later on. Houston Astros are facing the Minnesota Twins here in this game. There we go. On the mound for Houston is Hunter Brown, 6-5 with a 4.07 ERA, but he has been just great recently. Back-to-back starts, going 6 innings, only giving up 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 5 to 7 strikeouts. Yes, he faced Colorado and Toronto, so not exactly two of the strongest offenses, but the Angels, Detroit, Chicago White Sox, Colorado, Toronto. He's won 5 starts in a row, Hunter Brown, and he's looked very, very good. 5-0 in his last 7 starts with a 1.05 ERA. So he has pitched very, very well. But now he has to face this Twins offense, which has been rocking and rolling lately. Joe Ryan on the mound for the Twins. His last start against Seattle, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. Against Arizona, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. Tampa Bay, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts. So he hasn't been necessarily giving up a lot of runs lately, but he does give up some hits. And he's having to face Alex Bregman, who's 5 for 10 against him with 2 doubles and a home run. So we'll go with the half unit on the over 1.5 bases. Not taking Altuve, 2 for 9 with 2 singles against Ryan. Alvarez, well, yes, he's 4 for 10 with 3 home runs, but Alvarez has been getting walked. I believe Minnesota walked him once or twice yesterday, and ultimately I'm going to stay off Alvarez props. But if they pitch to him, he could very well hit a home run. So wouldn't talk anyone off looking at Alvarez. Byron Buxton, we're not taking here, 1 for 6 against Brown. Buxton has been great for us and has been cashing, but I'm going to stay off in this one. But I'm not staying off Brooks Lee or Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa over 1.5 bases. He's done in 5 of his last 8 games. 1 for 2 against Brown. Brooks Lee RBI, because once again it's like plus 230. Cashed on it in back-to-back shows. So we will take Brooks Lee once again for an RBI. And then Jose Miranda broke a Twins record for 10 consecutive hits, I believe, or 10 consecutive base on base. He's just been absolutely crazy the last couple games. So going to take him half unit on over 1.5 bases. 1 for 6 against Brown with the home run. So we'll see if Miranda can keep up his insanely hot streak that he has done the last couple games, because he's just been hitting everything. So Miranda, Brooks Lee, and Carlos Correa all against Hunter Brown. Hopefully Hunter Brown has a bit of a rough game here today. That's what I'm hoping for in this game. Let's see here. Let's see there. Astros team total over 3.5 minus 120. I can see that. Altuve versus Joe Ryan, 2 for 9, 2 singles. So nothing too special. Altuve left the game as well, so he may or may not even be in the lineup. Check that. Alvarez over 1.5 bases plus 120. Yeah, if they pitch to him, he can definitely get it. If they pitch to him. What was that comeback by Mini last night? The Twins tried. Oh my god. The Reds tried, but the Twins really tried. 7 runs in the ninth to lose 13-12. That is tough. That is tough. Over, I would say no. Houston scored 13 yesterday. Minnesota scored 12. The last thing I want to do is look it over the next day after that, especially with Hunter Brown on the mound. But I do hope Hunter Brown has a rough game, so hopefully you cash your over there today. LA Angels and the Chicago Cubs is a pass. Wind is blowing in this game. unlike yesterday. So no interest here in this one. Taylor Ward hasn't really been consistent lately. A lot of the Angels batters are slowing down, and they are facing a pitcher who's not had a good season at all. Hendricks, 1-6 with a 7.48 ERA. So he is someone I would want to bet against, but right now there's no props to really take against him. Ian Happ cashed for us yesterday, and not going to take him. Seiya Suzuki got a home run yesterday. Again, not going to take him either. This is a game where I'm staying off. Staying off. Altuve out. That's what I saw. Yeah, I saw that the X-rays came back negative. That's all I saw. But yeah, I definitely expect him probably not to play after a big over home run. Yeah, we'll see. So after a big over total the next day, the game usually goes under. A lot of the time, yes. A lot of the time, yes. And I've done that where I've taken overs the next day, and it usually doesn't go well. I don't have numbers to back it up, but um, yeah, it just usually doesn't go well. But I hope it is a high scoring game because I have props. New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Another game, well, at least for Pittsburgh side, that was very high scoring yesterday. Um, David Peterson on the mound for the Mets. Bailey Falter on the mound for the Pirates. In this one, Alvarez 2 for 4 with 2 singles against Falter, but only has multiple bases in 8 of 15. He's slowing down. Pete Alonso home run 1 for 8 with the home run against Falter. Not quite consistent enough for me. Brian Reynolds back-to-back games with home runs, and he's looked very, very good recently. 0 for 4 against Peterson, so I do have a lot of plays today, so this is one that I was able to pass on. Rowdy Tellez has been doing good recently. Jack Sawinski has been doing good recently. So if there are players you wanted to take here, you could look at these guys, but this is one of the games where I'm gonna pass on. Another pass here. Mets minus 136 and Mets team total over 4.5 minus 127. All right, best of luck. The Mets haven't looked too good the last couple games, so we'll see if they can get things together, or see if Grimace Power is over. We'll see. St. Louis Cardinals are facing the Washington Nationals here in this game. Lance Lynn on the mound for the Cardinals, Mackenzie Gore on the mound for the Nationals. Lynn 4-3 with a 3.59 ERA, Gore 6-7 with a 3.47 ERA. So pretty similar records and ERAs on the season for these two pitchers. Alec Burleson gonna pass on his props here. Multiple bases in 2 of 4. He has been very good for RBIs. He has not faced Mackenzie Gore before. Wilson Contreras. I mentioned on yesterday's show that the Contreras brothers are hot. Wilson getting multiple bases yesterday. He's done in 4 games in a row. A home run in 2 of his last 3. Hit in 7 of his last 8. So Contreras is feeling it. He's 4 for 5 with 2 doubles, two doubles against Mackenzie Gore. So Wilson red hot, very good numbers against Mackenzie Gore. Equals, we'll take him over 1.5 bases here in this game. Didn't get to the home run, but I could see it. CJ Abrams, Jesse Winker passing on both. Winker has been really good recently, 1 for 6 here against Lance Lynn and Luis Garcia Jr. Back-to-back games with home runs. Didn't get to his props either in this one. So we're just stinking. Wow, I can't talk today. We're just sticking with Wilson Contreras over 1.5 bases here on today's slate. Moving on along, Tampa Bay Rays are facing the Texas Rangers here. Taj Bradley on the mound for the Rays. Andrew Heaney on the mound for the Rangers. Brandon Lowe's props weren't available when I was looking earlier. So let me put this actually. Let me put that in purple. Something I'm waiting for. Or actually, that means update. What am I doing? So yeah, something I'm waiting to look at. Brandon Lowe, over 1.5 bases. If he's in the lineup, I'll probably get to it. 4 of his last 5 games, he's got multiple bases. Pass on Yandy Diaz, pass on Randy Rosarena, both, especially Rosarena, not very good numbers against Heaney. Caballero, 1 for 7 with a double. Again, not good numbers. But we have the only 1 unit player prop, full unit player prop for me on today's slate, and that's Mr. Corey Seager, who is definitely back recently. 10 games in a row with a hit, multiple bases in 6 of his last 7, an RBI in 3 of his last 4. He's 2 for 5 with a double against Taj Bradley. So we'll take Corey Seager over 1.5 bases for a full unit play in this game. And then passing on Nathaniel Lowe, passing on Derek Hill, passing on Wyatt Langford. So the Corey Seager show, that's what we're hoping for tonight here in this game. And maybe Brandon Lowe if he is confirmed in the lineup a little bit later. I do like B Lowe. I'm going to add him. Yeah, let me take a look. The props weren't available. I was going to say earlier, and which is not too long ago because I just started doing the show. Yeah, he's not projected to be starting. Nothing's been confirmed, so that'll be something I wait to see if he's playing. If he's playing, I'll get to him. But if not, then it's just Corey Seager in this game. Baltimore Orioles are facing the Oakland Athletics here in this one. Cade Povich on the mound for the Orioles. Luis Medina on the mound for the Athletics. Here in this one, Ryan Hurney's been good recently. Multiple bases in 3 of 4, and RBI in 3 of 4. So you could potentially look at him. I'm taking Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 bases. Yes, I believe it was minus 105, but he's done in 6 of his last 11 games. 2 for 2 against Medina with a home run. So we'll take Henderson over 1.5 bases. And then passing on the rest of the guys here. Brent Rooker has been really good recently. So you could look at him potentially here, but just going to stick with Mr. Henderson for the Baltimore Orioles here. Continuing on along, the San Francisco Giants and are facing the Cleveland Guardians. Kyle Harrison on the mound for the Giants, Logan Allen on the mound for the Guardians. This is the game where I added some props yesterday on Twitter. Matt Chapman didn't get there, so staying off his props today. Jorge Soler, 2 for 2 with a double against Logan Allen. Multiple bases in 5 of his last 8 games, so I will take him. Heliot Ramos cashed for us yesterday. He's heating up again, multiple bases in 5 of his last 6 games. I'll take him as well. Jose Ramirez, as Justin mentioned earlier, he's on. Didn't take him here. Multiple bases in 8 of 13, so he is doing good, pretty consistent recently. 1 for 3 with the home run, so he also does have good numbers against Harrison. So you could look at Ramirez. Stephen Kwan staying off his props as well. Multiple bases in 3 of 8, not quite consistent enough for me. But I will take both guys that cashed for us yesterday. The rookie, Angel Martinez, multiple bases in 3 games in a row. We'll take him. And then Josh Naylor, who hit a bomb yesterday. Multiple bases in 5 of 6. He's 2 for 3 against Harrison. So we'll take both Naylor, Martinez over 1.5 bases, and Ramos and Jorge Soler, both over 1.5 bases. Hopefully, we see another high-scoring game here in this one. Moving on along, Detroit Tigers and the Cincinnati Reds here in this one. No pitcher yet announced for Detroit. To be determined. Hunter Green on the mound for the Reds. Wenzel Perez, we're going to stay off of. Colt Keith, 2 home runs yesterday. He's got a home run in 2 of his last 3 games. We'll take him over 1.5 bases here, which he's done in 3 games in a row. Riley Green back in the spreadsheet. He's got a home run in 2 of his last 3, so he's starting to heat up recently. The pitcher's not been announced for the Cincinnati Reds. That is again, this should be pink. I don't know why I put it in purple today. Purple means update, pink means waiting or need information. So India didn't get anything for us yesterday. He's 1 for 6 with the double against the pitcher who's supposed to be starting for Detroit, which is Jack Flaherty. We'll see if he does make the start. Ellie De La Cruz, we're staying off his props. He hasn't done anything quite recently either. Steer over 1.5 bases is not available yet, obviously without knowing who the pitcher is. But his home run was available at FanDuel. So a quarter unit on the home run, back-to-back games for a home run. So we'll take him here to get a home run, maybe over 1.5 bases, depending on the odds and the pitcher that is announced when they're announced. Continue on along. Chicago White Sox and Miami Marlins. Pass. I think that's all that needs to be said. Garrett Crochet on the mound for the White Sox, their best pitcher by far. Chirinos on the mound for the Marlins. Not taking Marlins props against Crochet and not taking White Sox props at all. So pass. But for people that are interested, Andrew Vaughn doing okay recently. Luis Robert Jr. Doing okay. Lennon Sosa didn't cash for us yesterday when we took him, so I'm not taking him today. So he's going to have a big night. Watch. That's exactly what happens. Nick Gordon won at bat yesterday. He's thrown in there as a pinch hitter. So I want to look at his props because 99% he's not going to start. Jesus Sanchez, he's been good recently as well, but against Garrett Crochet, no interest in taking any props here in this one. Crochet strikeout ladder 8, 9, 10, minus 148, plus 134, and plus 240. Also, Crochet over 18.5 outs recorded for plus 172. Best of luck. Best of luck. I have no interest in this game whatsoever. I don't want to back 2 bums. Toronto Blue Jays are facing the Seattle Mariners here in this one. Yariel Rodriguez, the mound for the Jays, who's coming off a great start in his last game. Emerson Hancock on the mound for the Mariners. Not going to take Vladdy props, not going to take Springer props, not going to take Horwitz props, and passing on Rayleigh as well. Not really interested in this game. Nothing really stands out. Springer and Vladdy have both been really hot recently, but both are starting to cool down. So no interest here in this game. Philadelphia Phillies are facing the Atlanta Braves here in this one. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies. Spencer, I don't know why I want to say Kyle, but Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. In this one, Ranger Suarez is off a really rough start in his last game, I believe, to Miami. Yes, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, and 4.2 innings against Miami. So an incredibly rough game, but on the season, 10-2 with a 2.27 ERA. So he has been very consistent on the year. Nick Castellanos, we're not going to take him. Alec Bohm, we're not going to take him, but we will take Trey Turner, who 11 for 17 doesn't really look that good, but it's because it goes back a bit farther than the other numbers here. Great game yesterday from Turner. We'll take him today. And then, yes, I'm taking a prop against Ranger Suarez. Give me Austin Riley over 1.5 bases. 4 games in a row for him with multiple bases. Against Suarez, Riley's 8 for 22 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. So he has definitely seen Ranger Suarez well when he's faced him. So I will take him over 1.5 bases here, and Trey Turner over 1.5 bases here in this game. Two bums. Well, yeah, it's Miami and the White Sox, so I think that's fair to say. I think that's a fair comment. Sorry to any Miami Marlins, if any Miami Marlin, if any Miami, if any Miami Marlins fans even exist. Sorry. And then yeah, White Sox fans, I'm not sorry because I don't like Chicago. Suarez hasn't earned a win in 3 of his last 4 starts. Okay, okay, so he's starting to cool off a bit. Philly hurting without Harper, Schwarber, and Realmuto. Um, are they hurting though? Because I think they've won like 5 of their last 7 or something like that. So yes, obviously it hurts not having those bats in the lineup, but Philly's been kind of humming along still, and they've looked fine without those guys. But we'll move on along. Milwaukee Brewers, LA Dodgers here in this game. Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Brewers. James Paxton on the mound for the Dodgers here in this one. Not taking the other Contreras brother, not taking Bryce Terang here. This one, I do lean with Teoscar, which I haven't got to yet. That might be something I add on later in the day. We'll look at that. Shohei was gone cold officially. I believe 3 games in a row without a hit now, so he is officially ice cold. And then Freddie Freeman, 4 for 60 with a double, 2 doubles and a home run against Peralta. Multiple bases a 9 to 13. So Freddie Freeman wouldn't be a bad look here. Again, something I might look at later on. Freeman and Teoscar. So make sure to follow me at Let's Go Wild Picks on Twitter/X. And then if you don't have Twitter/X, check the spreadsheet later on and see if I've added anything here in this game. Kansas City Royals and the Colorado Rockies here in this one. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. Austin Gomber on the mound for the Rockies. And as people that watch the show on a daily basis know how I feel about Colorado and the price of props and that when they go to Colorado. Pasquantino, RBI, I'm not taking. And the 2 games he has not got an RBI are both games that I took him for an RBI. All the other games, I didn't take him and he got one. So I'm not taking him today, which means you guys should probably look at that. Bobby Witt Jr., 2 for 2 against Gomber. Both singles, though, so no extra base hits. Bobby Witt Jr. over 1.5 bases probably gets there, but it's probably like minus 140 or something. Maybe look at him for an RBI if you did want to take a Royals player in this one. Brenton Doyle, Jay Cave, not taking their props. Doyle 0 for 5 against Lugo. Don't really want to take any Colorado props in this one. So another pass on today's slate here. 1 second. Bum, bum, bum. You both should look into left-handed pitcher matchup between Crochet and Marlins and not be emotional about other White Sox plays. Now, I passed on the White Sox for most of the season. So it's not like I'm all of a sudden pissed at them because of 1 game. But yes, I am passing on them. Crochet is lightning, yes, but me and strikeout props don't get along. I haven't won 1 strikeout prop all year long, and I have tried, but I have not. And I did have success with it last year, but not this year. So pass. Will Smith has been in a slump and overlords with 12 total bases last game. Dodgers lineup is not okay. Yeah. Will Smith not in the spreadsheet because he has been ice cold. Then he got 3 home runs yesterday. Yes, 3 home runs is great, but it's not enough to get you on the spreadsheet. People might be wondering why is that? The way I do my MLB player props, kind of like I do with hockey props, not as much with hockey, but I like guys that are hot right now. And if they are on a streak, which means they've done it in multiple games, they'll find themselves on the spreadsheet. And then at-bat source pitcher, I like guys who've had success against the pitcher they're facing. Now, of course, you can't always. Sometimes players haven't faced the pitcher before, so that doesn't matter as much. But yeah, it matters. Thumbs up. Awesome. Had to take a call. Still on the Guardians breakdown. Hey, no worries. No worries. Lines in Colorado Sojourns Bobby Jr. is minus 250. Are you kidding me? Exactly. And that's why I don't play Colorado props. Crochet could get pulled early. The White Sox probably want to keep him healthy. I like the no run first inning. Okay. And that's exactly why I'm just not going to touch that game at all. Not going to touch it. But final game of the night before we get to the CFL, we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks here facing the San Diego Padres. In this one, Christian Walker, 2 for 6 with 2 doubles. Sorry, is they trying to get straight? 2 for 6 with 2 doubles against Matt Waldron. Multiple bases in 5 of his last 6 games. So I'll take Christian Walker here. A home run in 3 of his last 4. So we could potentially look at him for a home run as well. I didn't get to it, though. Gabriel Moreno, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., both not doing too bad recently. Gurriel, 2 for 6 against Waldron, both singles. I do lean with his over 1.5 bases prop, but didn't get to it. Jackson Merrill, cash for us yesterday. He has been great for a good portion of this season. 0 for 5 against Brandon Pfaadt. And Brandon Pfaadt seems to be pitching very well or much better recently. And then when he does give up a hit, it has been a long ball. So that's something to keep in mind. But my only prop for San Diego in this game is Manny Machado. Over 1.5 bases, 5 of his last 8 games, 2 for 7 with a double against Brandon Pfaadt. So we will go with Manny Machado over 1.5 bases and Christian Walker over 1.5 bases for the final baseball game of the night. L Bob over 1.5 bases. L Bob. Probably should know who that is, but I don't. Sorry, just Blue Jays over 8. You bet it last night. Okay. Best of luck. But we will move on along to the CFL game that we have on tonight's slate. Of course, I'm giving you guys my player prop and my premium play in this one. So we've got a battle between the Calgary Stampeders and the Montreal Alouettes. If you guys have not seen my power rankings, I give them out on the show every Thursday. So go check out Thursday's show. But spoiler alert, Montreal Alouettes have been my number 1 team in the CFL for 4 weeks now, since after week 1. Calgary comes in here 2-1. The 2 teams they beat are Winnipeg and Hamilton, who are a combined 1-8. Now that Winnipeg won yesterday, they were a combined 0-8. Calgary has covered plus 9.5 in all 3 games. Obviously, in their one loss to BC, they lost by 9 points. So their one loss was a 9-point loss, which technically covered the spread here. And then their 2 wins against Bums are both wins. 2 of the 3 games under 50.5, averaging 23.67 points per game, 23 points against. Montreal 4-0 on the season. They've covered the 9.5 in 3 of their 4 wins. The only win they didn't cover in was against Edmonton. And for some reason, this Edmonton team who's 0-4 might be 0-4 as a record, but continue to keep games really close. So they haven't been getting blown out, and they were the only team so far that was able to not get blown out by the Montreal Alouettes. Montreal averaging 31.75 points per game, 18.23. They have a nasty defense. 4 of the last 5 have gone under 50.5. And I do lean with the under. Here in this one. I think Calgary is about to face a real opponent here. Yes, they did face BC in their one loss, but BC didn't play overall the best game that game. Montreal has been playing um, consistent football since day one of the season. So I do lean with the under, but I'm on Montreal minus 9.5. And yes, 9.5 is a very big number, but Montreal is by far the best and most dominant team in the CFL, at least so far this season. And Calgary came into the season at the bottom of my power rankings. They've worked their way up with their 2-1 record, but I think we get I think we see the real Calgary team in this one, and I think Montreal beats the shit out of them. So that's my thoughts here in this one. We'll take Montreal minus 9.5 here in this one. And then looking at player props, um, I obviously wouldn't look at any Calgary props here in this one. Montreal's defense, as I said, is nasty. Um, Dedrick Mills, their running back, may not even play. He was questionable last time I checked. So we'll see what happens there. Mark and Michelle has a touchdown in back-to-back games, so you could potentially look at him if you did want to look at someone for Calgary. But Bedgelton has gone under 50.5 in all 3 games, so he hasn't got a lot of receiving yards this year. My one prop here in this one, yeah, Fajardo, 3 of his last 4, 3 of the 4 games under 284.5 receiving or passing yards. A lot of the time, it is Montreal's defense that really stands up for them. But the number one guy here for the Alouettes is Tyson Philpott. 3 of his 4 games over 89.5 receiving yards, a touchdown in 3 of the 4 games. He is their number one wide receiver. I'll take him over 79.5 receiving yards, minus 114 at FanDuel. I like that 79.5 number. He's hitting at least 90 in 3 of his 4 games. So that's what we'll do. We'll take Montreal minus 9.5, and we'll take Tyson Philpott over 79.5 receiving yards here for tonight's CFL game. And then we will quickly go. I'll go to the chat here in just a second. Picks of Parlays exclusive plays. Do not buy my CFL play because I've given it out on the show. With Montreal minus 9.5. I do have 2 baseball plays, one starting in about half an hour, and the other starting, I believe, at 7 p.m. Eastern. So 2 plays available on the site for purchase. We'll go back to this background, and I will quickly go through the chat, and then we'll get through the recapping today's show. Dun, 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 dun. Riley over 1.5 bases. I like it. Yes, normally I wouldn't be running to bet props against Suarez, but as Tommy said, Suarez is kind of cooled off a bit recently, especially his last game against Miami, and then Riley has great numbers against him. So, yeah. FYI, wind blowing out in Oakland. Baltimore bats come alive. There we go. Let's go, Henderson. So maybe what you're saying is I should add Henderson home run. Is that what you're saying? All right. Montreal minus 8. I'm minus 110 on DraftKings right now. 8.5. Okay, 8.5. Or minus 8 at DK and minus 8.5 at FanDuel. All right. So yeah. People might be saying, the CFL lines move like crazy throughout the week and usually the day of, but they don't necessarily move in the right direction a lot of the time. So this doesn't worry me whatsoever here. But it just means some of you guys can get a better number. That's what that means. Thanks for telling us, Billy. Billy Pasquantino bases and RBI bomb. Yes, because I'm not taking him today. He will do well. We'll parlay Montreal with WNBA, Liberty, and Brianna Stewart. 20 plus points for plus 106. Okay. And Justin likes that. He's on over 33.5 points. So we've got some WNBA action in here from Tommy and Justin. Thanks, guys. I guess Brianna Stewart's really good because you guys both really like her props. So there you go. Best of luck. We will recap all of today's plays. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go here. So in the game starting in about half hour, Ben Rice over 1.5 bases plus 145. Ben Rice RBI plus 200. Rafael Devers RBI plus 135. Devers over 1.5 bases plus 110. Brooks Lee over 1.5 bases plus 230. Brooks Lee RBI plus 230. Miranda over 1.5 bases plus 138. Carlos Correa over 1.5 bases plus 116. Bregman over 1.5 bases plus 148. Wilson Contreras over 1.5 bases plus 123. Corey Seager, full unit play there, over 1.5 bases plus 120. Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 bases minus 105. Angel Martinez over 1.5 bases plus 160. Josh Naylor over 1.5 bases plus 135. Heliot Ramos over 1.5 bases plus 115. Jorge Soler over 1.5 bases minus 105. Spencer Steer home run plus 470. Colt Keith over 1.5 bases plus 125. Tyson Philpott over 79.5 receiving yards. Montreal minus 9.5. Austin Riley over 1.5 bases plus 128. Trey Turner over 1.5 bases minus 115. Christian Walker over 1.5 bases plus 125. And Manny Machado over 1.5 bases plus 145. That is today's card. Of course, there could be some additions later on. Check out Twitter if you would, or the spreadsheets to see any additions I might make today. Pra is a point, rebound, assist. Okay. So, okay, that makes sense. FYI, Alvarez walk plus 185. Wow. And yes, I know that Addison has been, who watches the show a lot. He has been betting walks and has been doing really well. So I would take a look at this. I would. I think that's a very high plus price. That was up Luis Roberts. LOL. Okay. Okay, and that is today's show. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. We'd love to have you guys in the live chat. Make sure to like the video, share it out if you guys would like to. I'd really appreciate it. No show on Sundays, so no show tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday, normal time around this time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. But my player props will all be in the spreadsheet tomorrow. So check out the spreadsheet in the description below of the YouTube video to get access to the spreadsheet, which has all the stats and player props in it. But thank you everyone for watching. Points, rebounds, assist. Okay. Best of luck to everyone today, and we will see you guys back on Monday. Thanks for watching, guys.